everyone! Today is a special day. Not only we're entering this end of a decade, a beautiful decade in cinema history, right? It's a nice holiday season in which everyone should be happy and glad, and we forget about the cruel, disgusting world that we live in. To end this beautiful decade, Keon and I would like to share to you our personal top 10, technically top 5 from each of us films in this decade. That is a beautiful title, isn't it? And to start off this beautiful list, Keon, everybody! Oh my God.
Hey, what do you get when you have a mentally unstable loner with a So, 2010. Well, let's start off this list. We're not going to do a YouTube rewind, or this ain't going to be Watch Mojo. It's not Number 5. The best movie was Cats.
Number 15. Top 10 movies of 2020.
Dora the Explorer. I actually enjoyed that movie. It's silly. So for 2010, to kick off the list, I thought that we would start with a nice softball with the two best movies of that year, which are Inception. Oh my God. Like, I remember watching that movie when it came out and having my mind blown. Not only did Christopher Nolan create The Prestige, Memento, and the first Batman movie that had a TV spot that had a Nickelback played to it, a hero will save us, and Batman's flying. Anyway, not only did he do all of those things, but he created this mind-melting adventure movie, heist movie, about trying to steal an idea and implant an idea in someone's brain. Incredible. And not only that, but it's also, like most of his movies, a symbolic representation of filmmaking. A film, in general, is trying to implant a little idea into your brain and trying to make you think in a different way. And all of the characters that are part of this heist team are actually symbolically representing crew on a film. It's incredible. And that ending at the end. Was he dreaming? Was he not? You can actually tell because guess what? His totem wasn't actually the spinny top. Am I lying? Am I not? Who knows? My totem isn't actually a camera being in front of it. I live in real life outside of this set. Not that you'd know. I could be a CG object. Anyway, but the other movie of 2010, which it has such a soft spot in my heart because it's by one of my favorite directors, is The Social Network. Not only is this a biopic about Mark Zuckerberg of all people, this terrible android gone wrong, becoming a CEO, but it's actually about the idea of taking real life events and then saying, okay, well, maybe they're all from unreliable narrators. Everybody's telling a story about how Facebook happened, and they might paint Mark Zuckerberg as a terrible person or actually as a sympathetic person, but you don't really know because not only were you not there, but the entire movie is told by separate people. It's incredible. And not only that, it's based on a true story. So it gives you this historical element about how Facebook was actually discovered and created. And the soundtrack, ooh, mwah, Trent Reznor, you make the good music, you make all that good stuff. You stole the Oscar from my guys. Daft Punk. Tron Legacy actually holds up. I have such a soft spot for that movie. 2010, that was a beautiful year, and Daft Punk deserved that Oscar. I don't even think they got nominated. Anyway, 2010, good year. Moving on.
2011 was a weird year because the best picture went to a film that is in black and white. And come on, millennials. If it's in black and white, it's not worth watching. Am I right? Come on. Come on. Let me get a okay boomers on the chat. Let me get a couple of okay boomer on the chat. No, but seriously, The Artist came out, and let me tell you, The Artist is what a simple story but well directed can do for you. To me, the big topic on this movie is the directing in it. They decided to shoot in black and white. Okay, fine, whatever, that's fine. Also, it was silent. What? What? There's movies 3 hours long all about talking. I'm looking at you, The Irishman, and you're gonna give the Oscar to this? Seriously? And it's well deserved? That is unbelievable. Because this movie is literally, hey, action over speaking. There are some spoken lines and little title cards here. Here's an example. And those are the only spoken lines technically, but throughout the entire movie, action speaks louder than words, and that's why they decided to shoot it silently. There are some musical cues here and there, but it's so captivating because, again, how simplistic it is. And it takes me back to those good old days where I used to watch Charlie Chaplin, and I love Charlie Chaplin. His slapstick used to be like the thing for me. It's all about the performance of this character and what they do in their environment. I have a weird love for it because of that. And that's why I recommend The Artist. Alright, for 2012, this was the beautiful year where everything was supposed to end. The Mayans were supposed to come down from the sky and slaughter all of us like the disgusting sinners we are. But that didn't happen. But instead, we got Dread. Dread is how you should remake/retell a story. The original Dread with Sylvester Stallone and, what's his stinky monkey friend he had? He's in Norm of the North.
What?
Rob Schneider. Rob Schneider. So a lot of problems with people remaking movies nowadays is steering away from the source material, but including it only to get a funny haha out of you. When in this one, they say, hey, let's just make our own thing, okay? Everything takes place in one location, this giant building where this powerful drug has taken over almost the economy system in that building, right? Let's just make a beautiful, grotesque, just over-the-top action film and have fun with it. That's how you remake a movie. This movie is so 80s, it just stole my heart, okay? One-liners, it has the over-the-top action, it has betrayal. This movie has everything that a stereotypical just action genre would have and does it right. Why? Because it doesn't take itself serious. The movie knows what it is. It knows that it wants to be an over-the-top action film where you just want to see blood, guts, gore, and guns going off, and it gives you that. It sucks that it's just not as recognized as, you know, as other movies that came out that year, but for my pick of 2012, it would have to go to Dread. I just liked it, okay? Do you like blood, guts, and gore? Do you like people shooting each other in the face? That's a stereotypical day in Florida. That's what that movie is.
It's the most true thing we've said.
It's the most true thing I said all day. Watch Dread, it's really good. If you're a fan, like I said, if you're a huge fan of action films, this is the quintessential movie for you.
2013, the year after we should all be dead. And some of us still think we should. Anyway, The Wolf of Wall Street came out 2013 and is a beautiful love letter to excess. If you think of the original Wall Street movie, this is the exact opposite, the antithesis to it. While Wall Street's about the terrible, horrible parts of capitalism and how it's terrible, Wolf of Wall Street is showing you in excess why it's terrible. It's showing you the way that you want to be like these people. You want to be like, I walked out of the theater and was like, I'm changing my major. Who needs to be an engineer? I want to be a businessman and snort enough cocaine to tranquilize an elephant. That whole movie was so much fun to watch. This one terrible person just roll in from a completely innocent human being into this monster that's awful, but you still want to be like him. So much so that at the very end, Jordan Belfort, the actual human being, introduces Leo DiCaprio onto stage. You want to be him so much, he makes an appearance in his own movie. I mean, it's incredible. And now that I said the movie that's actually incredibly good objectively, let me tell you the movie that I love, and I don't care if you like it or not, which is Pacific Rim. Now, Guillermo del Toro has made such incredible movies, and his set design is so good. It's all there for you to see in Pacific Rim. Giant robots, giant monsters, anime protagonists in all forms, a weird Russian group, a bunch of Chinese acrobats with a 3-armed robot, as well as your main character who's this gruff and tumble American. And then he hangs out with this Australian who's kind of weird. And then you have this Japanese character that has her own tragic backstory. Then you have our leading protagonist's mentor figure. And all of them have these little bits about them that make them not fleshed out characters, but something you'd see in an anime. And not only that, but it's all put together in such a way that it's shot as if you were actually watching it. Every single camera placement whenever you're watching a giant robot or giant monster fight is where a human being would be, either on a helicopter or on street level, or maybe like in the robot itself. You're never seeing the action from a random camera movement. The camera's not from a God's eye view. but it's where you would be watching it. And that's why every single punch feels real, and it's incredible. And the thing that I love the most about the movie is that the movie starts off with two brothers. They're just two brothers. But when I went and saw the movie, I was sitting next to my brother, and as it started, we were like, oh, we could pilot a Jaeger. And if you remember the beginning of the movie, one of them doesn't have a great time. And that was the perfect way to get my brother and I invested. What would we do if one of us was left alone to fend for ourselves? It really got me into the movie within the first 5 minutes. Incredible stuff. Whiplash, literally Whiplash. Ain't that funny? He's laughing. So Whiplash you'll laugh right now.
No! I was rolling my eyes.
So Whiplash came out in 2014, and that's one of my favorite movies because it's very simple, that it's about one character that's trying to accomplish something himself and has this goal, but it puts you in the anxiety of trying to be great while not actually meeting that goal in someone's eyes, like The Mentor. So as you see from this character's perspective, I'm not kidding, I got a panic attack from watching that movie. It puts you in the place of this character so well that you really want him to succeed, and the ending is so gratifying. But my favorite movie from 2014 has to be Ex Machina. That movie had such a small budget, but it used it so well. They only go to one location, but they use every piece of the buffalo at that location. I swear, you feel like you've lived here for the week that they've spent there. And during that week, there's so many twists and turns. What are people's hidden agendas that it really keeps your attention and really makes you think about the future of technology and what it's like to not only be a human being, but the psychology of creating something and the psychology of working with another person that might not actually be a person. It's really fantastic. And Oscar Isaac gives an incredible performance. He's such a good actor. Don't let Star Wars change your opinion on him. He's not just some fly guy. He's so good. Go watch Ex Machina. It's incredible. But 2014 wouldn't be complete with these two honorable mentions, which are John Wick and The Raid 2. Those two movies did such an incredible job of showing you that the Eastern style of filming, which is just... Do you guys see Taken? I don't know if it was 1, 2, or 3, or 8, or however many they're on now, but there's one scene where they had 23 cuts of Liam Neeson jumping over a gosh dang fence. What kind of what kind of editing are you doing? Are you insane? These movies do the exact opposite. Maybe 2 or 3 cuts for one fight scene where the camera just moves along with the action, and you can tell that these actors know exactly what they're doing. Keanu Reeves did so much training for the first John Wick movie, and it's so simplistic about this revenge story about a dog. You'd think it would be about his wife, but this dog represents something different, and the only way that you can make a villain so unempathizable is if they kill a dang dog. So you have this...
It was a puppy!
That's even worse!
His name was Daisy!
So the action is cut incredibly well. You just have them fighting on these nice wide shots that The Raid 2 more or less perfected. John Wick is incredible action, but The Raid 2 has the most amazing fight scenes that I've ever seen, honestly. They have the nice wide shots of these characters that have their own gimmicks to them and their own little slight personalities that when they're put together, you see the counterplay to each of the different fighting styles. It's really incredible. And it's basically an entire fight scene throughout the entire movie. The only sections in between fights are really downtime for you to breathe to get to the next fight. Just Google some of the fight scenes and you will lose your mind. The best ones with a baseball bat. Please go watch that one. I watch it like a couple times a month just because it gets me pumped. So those honorable mentions definitely deserve to be somewhere on your 2014 list.
And they're also linked in a way because in The Raid,
yeah,
they're two brothers with the karambits or whatever.
Oh yeah.
John Wick 3.
Dude, both of them?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And they say they're like, I'm a huge fan of you, John.
They do!
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Cool. 2014, watch them.